Did you know that the CASPer test is part of a larger assessment called the Altus Suite? This multi-level evaluation is one of the steps of the applicant selection process for professional programs. In today's video, we will cover what the Altus Suite entails, how to prepare for each section of the Altus Suite, and give you tips on how to smoothly complete all three parts of the test in time for your application deadline. Hi, my name is Chris and I'm an admissions associate here at BeMo. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe on whatever social media channel you're watching this from now, so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. If you would like us to help you with your Altus Suite, click on the link above or below this video to schedule your free initial consultation. As a quick tip, check out the timestamps in the description of this video to navigate to specific sections of the video that you're interested in. By the way, we are giving away $50 Amazon gift cards every week to the best comments and questions, so comment below for a chance to win. In today's video, I'll be going over all the essentials you'll need to know about the Altus Suite, including what is the Altus Suite, components of the Altus Suite, how to prepare for the Altus Suite components, how to complete all three Altus Suite components to maximize your success. There's one strategy that will help you ace your Altus Suite. I'll explain it towards the end, so keep watching to find out. Now let's get started. What is the Altus Suite? Over the last few years, the Altus Suite has morphed into a multi-level assessment that can be used by some schools to evaluate the suitability of applicants for professional programs. CASPer, being the most well-known part of this multi-level assessment, was the first component to be introduced to the public. A few years later, professional school applicants learned that, along with the test, they are expected to complete an additional short video interview, the Snapshot, that is claimed to help schools get a better understanding of the applicant's personality and communication skills. And now the Altus Suite assessment has also added the Duet, a value alignment evaluation that claims to compare applicants and programs' values. While you have to complete the CASPer test on a specific date you book, you do not have to complete the Snapshot and the Duet at any specific time. Once you book your CASPer test date, you can complete the other two stages of the Altus Suite at your convenience within 10 days after you take the CASPer. Don't forget to keep in mind application deadlines and try to complete all three components of the Altus Suite in a timely manner. Your payment and registration for the test cover all parts of the assessment. Components of the Altus Suite. Now let's go over each part of the assessment in more detail. The CASPer test. This is the most familiar part of the Altus Suite, yet it is the most intimidating. This situational judgment test is famous for its difficulty, with many students asking how to prepare for CASPer. Let's quickly recap what the CASPer test is. The CASPer test is an online situational judgment test that claims to assess the professional suitability of professional school applicants. The entire test is written on a computer, and the students typically never find out how well they scored. The test is comprised of 12 scenarios dealing with real-life situations. You are asked 3 follow-up questions based on the scenario observed. Essentially, the questions will prod you to answer how you would deal with the situation you witnessed. You're given 5 minutes to type your answers to those 3 questions. Your answer for each scenario is given a score between 1, the lowest, and 9, the highest. You'll be evaluated on your ability to remain objective, non-judgmental, non-assumptive, diplomatic, and professional in your answers. Snapshot. The Snapshot is a one-way video response tool claimed to allow you to connect with professional programs to give them a more well-rounded view of you as an applicant. As we already discussed, the CASPer test is meant to evaluate your professional suitability, but the Snapshot evaluates your communication skills, your personal traits, and your disposition. Like many other video interview tools, the Snapshot is technically designed for schools to get to know their applicants better. Snapshot questions are not unlike common medical school interview questions. You are likely to be faced with questions like, tell me about yourself. What's the biggest obstacle you have overcome? Why did you choose your profession? What's your greatest weakness? And so on. You will record the interview using the same account you created for the CASPer test. The snapshot consists of 3 questions in total, and you will have 30 seconds to brainstorm your answers without being recorded and 2 minutes to respond to each question while you're being recorded. The entire interview should not take you more than 10 minutes. Remember that the snapshot pauses recording while you're reflecting on the questions for 30 seconds. The Duet. This is the most recent addition to the Altus Suite assessment and therefore the least known. Essentially, the Duet is designed to assess your suitability for your chosen programs. At the same time, the Duet also claims to assess which programs are the best fit for your academic and professional goals. According to Altus assessments, representatives or stakeholders of professional programs complete the evaluation that generates a program profile. The applicants complete the same assessment in which they choose the elements from several categories they most value in programs. The school's profiles are then compared to the applicants' rankings of values, goals, and priorities, resulting in fit scores for each applicant. The programs then receive the fit score of applicants for each category as well as the overall applicant rankings. Currently, the Duet is only available to U.S. graduate medical programs and is piloted for U.S. undergraduate medical programs. While the Duet sounds like an objective and standardized way to assess the fit between applicants and schools, it's early to say whether this evaluation is truly non-biased. Considering that the Duet is designed to help schools find applicants whose values and goals align with their own, there may be an inherent partiality towards the schools. How to prepare for the Altus Suite components. CASPer. Notorious for its unpredictability, the CASPer test is difficult to prepare for, but not impossible. The key to a successful CASPer answer is having answer strategies for CASPer question types. You must design an approach to tackle any question category you may face, of which there are 3. Here's how to deal with each of the question types. Situational or scenario questions. After witnessing a scenario, you will be presented with questions that ask you for personal reactions and assessments of the situation. Questions of this category may include, what would you do in this scenario? What is going on in your mind right now? How would you handle X situation? And so on. When you're faced with a CASPer scenario follow-up question, it's important to understand your role and what kind of issue you're being presented with, i.e., ethical dilemma, professional boundaries, conflict resolution, etc. Most importantly, you must identify the most vulnerable party in the situation, i.e., the main issue of the scenario. Once you identify the issue, you must outline practical solutions to resolve the situation. First and foremost, you must consider solutions from the viewpoint of the vulnerable party before considering anyone else in the scenario. However, you must remain objective and non-judgmental to all parties involved in the situation. It is a tough balancing act, but you must try to maneuver between all the parties involved in the situation. Think of several practical solutions, then choose the most rational, ethical, legal, and scientifically sound decision that causes the least amount of harm to everyone involved or indirectly involved. A good way to structure your answers to the scenario follow-up questions is to use if-then sentence composition. This way you demonstrate that you have considered multiple points of view and have included all the parties in your consideration. Policy questions. Policy questions are designed to evaluate your professional awareness and decision-making abilities. The questions are typically phrased in the following way. What are your opinions on X in the medical field? How would you address the X issue in your professional field? And so on. With policy questions, the schools also assess your ability to remain objective and non-critical of all sides of an issue. Again, consider the themes that the policy question is asking about, i.e. scope and current social event awareness, rural versus city practice, ethical and moral dilemmas, etc. Follow this general structure to answer CASPer policy questions. Opening sentence. In your opening sentence, shortly summarize the policy to demonstrate your awareness of the policy and its context. 2 or 3 points about the policy. List a couple of advantages and disadvantages of the policy. Not only will this reiterate your awareness of the program, but it will also demonstrate your ability to stay objective, informed, and open-minded. Last sentence. The last part of your answer should include your personal opinion about the policy and reasons behind your stance. If you disagree with the policy, write down a short sentence with an alternative solution to the problem. To prepare for questions in the policy category, research current events, social and political issues, and challenges facing the profession that you're trying to join. You can start by visiting websites of your provincial and state, federal, and national medical associations to read about the latest policies and news. You can learn about local and global health issues by reading the newspaper, watching the news, and visiting websites of institutions like the World Health Organization. To practice answering policy questions, you can write down a list of the most important and interesting policies you encounter. Write down their pros and their cons. Try to formulate your own informed opinion. Practice the strategy and know how to implement it in answering different policy questions that you might face in the real test. Personal questions. Many follow-up CASPer questions will ask you questions about times when you had to deal with similar issues or situations that are presented in the scenario you're faced with, such as, have you ever experienced X? What was your reaction? Or have you ever been faced with X issue? How did you deal with it? Personal questions are meant to assess how you react in certain situations. The questions may deal with professional boundaries, ethical or moral dilemmas, conflict resolutions, and other issues. Your answers should demonstrate to the evaluator that you know how to handle yourself in any situation. When you answer personal questions, remember these steps. Provide a very short context about the situation, quote, or question that you're writing or talking about. Write 1 or 2 sentences demonstrating specific action, behaviors, or tasks you performed to deal with the situation. What did you do to fix the problem? How did you overcome a challenge? Use concrete examples. Write 1 sentence about what you learned from dealing with the situation. Snapshot. Like with any interview, you'll need to practice with sample questions to prepare for the snapshot. Whether you are running through medical school interview questions, PA school interview questions, or nursing school interview questions, you must have a strategy for answering the most common interview question types. The snapshot mostly consists of personal questions, though you should also prepare for the situational and policy questions just to be safe. Make sure you use the fail-proof strategies we've outlined earlier in the CASPer section to ensure that you can tackle any questions that come your way. Additionally, remember that your practice must include timing yourself, as you will only have a couple of minutes to formulate a stellar response to each question. To help you get ready for the format, you can even try recording yourself during practice. To recreate the atmosphere of the real interview, practice recording in a quiet place with a neutral background and dress as you would for a professional interview. Recording yourself will allow you to see how you come across on screen and notice whether you're displaying signs of anxiety or stress, such as too much movement, lack of eye contact, or nervous laughter. Recording yourself will also help you to gauge whether you are improving. The more questions you run through and answer using our strategies, the more comfortable you should become with answering questions for the snapshot. The Duet. It is difficult to prepare for this part of the Altus Suite because it is not your abilities and experiences that are being assessed here. However, we are here to give you some tips for how you can ensure that you fill out your assessment to your advantage. So, before you sit down to fill out which qualities and characteristics you value most in the programs to which you're applying, visit the official websites of these schools. Read up on their mission statement, goals, and values. These are all important to assess what kind of applicants the programs are looking for. Based on your research, you will know which characteristics to put in your Duet assessment. If you're applying to an MD program in the US, learn how to use MSAR to choose the right school for you. This online database provides you with more than just the school's mission statement to help you gauge whether you are the right fit for their programs. MSAR also outlines the history of pre-medical experiences of each school's matriculants. This means that you can assess what kind of experiences and skills these schools value in their students and accentuate these in your Duet assessment. For example, over 90% of matriculants to Ivy League medical schools have extensive research experience, which indicates that you should emphasize your research skills and experiences in your MCAS application if you're planning to apply to Columbia or Yale. In your Duet assessment, you can indicate that what you value in the programs you're applying to are research opportunities. Remember, it is important to do this research before you start preparing your application components. This way, you'll be able to emphasize the qualities and characteristics especially valued by the schools of your choice. This will help increase your Duet Fit score, since your application will include the qualities and experiences cherished by the school of your choice. When the time comes, you will be able to fill out the Duet assessment with the knowledge of what kind of characteristics you should include based on what the schools value in their students. How to complete all 3 Altus Suite components to maximize your success. Completing all 3 parts of the assessment is not necessarily time-consuming. Altogether, they'll take no more than 2.5 or 3 hours. Compared to your medical school personal statement, which takes weeks to write, the Altus Suite may seem like less of a commitment. However, preparing for all 3 parts of the assessment will take you months. The CASPer test alone takes at least 6 to 8 weeks to prepare for. Preparing for the Snapshot interview takes no less than 6 weeks, but it would be better to dedicate at least 2 months to build your confidence and practice your answer strategy for each question type. Additionally, research of schools and browsing of the MSAR database can take weeks before you note down all the skills and experiences you want to emphasize in your application and include them in your Duet assessment. Ultimately, you have to be able to juggle the application process with the Altus Suite prep. This means carefully planning on your part. Research CASPer questions and take a couple of realistic simulations with professional feedback before you even book your test date. Professional feedback can also help you assess how much prep is necessary. Once you have some idea of how long it will take you to get ready, find out which CASPer test dates are available and book the optimal date for you. Aim to book a CASPer date no less than 8 weeks from the date you schedule it. Once this is done, start serious preparations for CASPer using the strategies I've outlined. Keep in mind that CASPer test prep is very individualistic. Some people may be ready to take the test within 4 weeks of starting practice, while others may take longer. Continue taking realistic CASPer simulations and receiving feedback on your progress. As you are drawing nearer to the test date, assess whether you are ready to take the test. If not, you can always reschedule it. Preparing for the test and the snapshot is concurrent, since you will be using the same answer strategies for both. Remember to take time to record your practice answers for the snapshot and note if your disposition on camera and your answers are improving. Do not record the real video interview unless you feel ready. Remember, you do not have to record the snapshot right after you complete the CASPer test. You can record the interview at any time that's convenient for you. In fact, I would advise against piling all 3 Altus Suite components together. After completing the test, take a few days off before recording your interview, if you can afford it, i.e. you are within the application deadlines for your programs. After you complete the snapshot, take 3 to 4 days to organize which program characteristics you want to include in the Duet assessment. Once the Duet is completed, you are free to continue focusing on other parts of the application process. Check out our blog to learn more about Altus Suite. I've included a link in the description of this video so you can find the blog easily. If you'd like us to help you ace your Altus Suite, click on the link either above or below this video to schedule your free initial consultation. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, so please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. If you have any questions about the Altus Suite that I didn't cover in this video, let me know in the comments section and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Don't forget that we're giving away $50 Amazon gift cards every week to the best comments and questions, so comment below for a chance to win. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.